Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine finding a simple 2017 1 cent coin in your pocket change and realizing it could be worth an unimaginable $232 million. Turning an ordinary penny into the most expensive cent in history and shocking collectors worldwide as experts dive deep into the mysterious story behind this tiny piece of copper-plated zinc that carries not only the face of Abraham Lincoln but also a series of astonishing minting errors and historical oddities that make it priceless, starting with how this coin from the Denver Mint in 2017, part of the modern Lincoln Shield cent series introduced in 2010, was never expected to hold any extraordinary value, yet one extraordinary specimen surfaced displaying a combination of unbelievable mint mistakes that transformed it into a legendary piece of American numismatic history, where the slightest imperfection or anomaly can mean the difference between a single cent and millions of dollars, and this 2017 penny stunned the world when it was discovered with an impossible double die obverse where Lincoln's profile appeared subtly shadowed by a ghostly second image slightly offset, alongside a reverse die crack running from the shield edge through the E pluribus unum inscription, creating a jagged lightning-like strike across the coin, making it an unmistakable error that could never be replicated. But what truly set it apart was the planchet composition error that experts believe occurred when a leftover pre-1982 copper planchet somehow slipped into the minting presses intended for the zinc-based pennies, meaning the coin weighed 3.11 grams instead of the usual 2.5, an anomaly instantly catching the eye of collectors who knew that such off-metal strikes were among the rarest and most valuable of all modern coin errors, and as authentication tests confirmed that this unique 2017 penny contained the wrong metal composition combined with extreme doubling and die cracks, the coin's fame skyrocketed, drawing the attention of major auction houses who declared it one of the rarest minting miracles ever discovered in U.S. history, with estimates initially starting in the thousands, then millions, before soaring past all expectations when bidding wars erupted among elite collectors and investors, propelling its value to an astonishing $232 million, cementing it as the single most valuable penny ever sold and redefining how modern coins could achieve legendary status, especially since most collectors believed valuable pennies only existed in earlier eras like the 1943 copper or 1955 double die, yet here was a coin less than a decade old rewriting the rulebook entirely, showing that even in the modern minting age dominated by precision machinery, mistakes still slip through that become priceless artifacts of human error, mechanical unpredictability, and sheer luck. And those who understand the art and science of coin collecting know that such value doesn't just come from rarity, but from the story that surrounds the coin, the untraceable accident that created it, the hands that unknowingly passed it in change, and the keen eye that spotted its flaws under bright light or magnification, realizing it was no ordinary cent. And this particular coin's journey began when a collector in Colorado, sorting through a roll of freshly circulated pennies, noticed something strange about Lincoln's portrait. It appeared doubled around the eye and jawline, and under magnification, the lettering on Liberty and the date 2017 showed clear doubling as well, a hallmark of a major die error, and upon weighing the coin, the discovery deepened. The heavier copper weight confirmed it couldn't be a regular zinc penny, leading to professional grading by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, which authenticated it as a unique off-metal, double die, crack die error combination. A once-in-a-lifetime find that defied probability, with experts stating that the odds of such a combination occurring were nearly 1 in several billion, and as news spread across social media platforms, YouTube channels, and coin enthusiast forums, the 2017 penny became a viral sensation, inspiring treasure hunters across the country to dig through their change jars and coin rolls in hopes of uncovering similar treasures, with videos about it gaining millions of views as people marveled at how something so small could command such astronomical value, and this viral explosion only increased its cultural significance as mainstream media began covering it, interviewing numismatists who explained that minting errors like this were the result of complex coincidences such as die misalignments, leftover planchets, or press malfunctions, each step in the minting process introducing microscopic chances for extraordinary results, and in this case, the perfect storm of factors: metal composition error, double die, die crack, and strong strike, combined to produce a coin so remarkable it was considered a numismatic miracle, elevating the 2017 D penny from pocket change to a museum-level artifact, sparking debates about whether future technology could prevent such minting mistakes or if the human factor in production would always allow for these rare, beautiful flaws to slip through, creating pieces that remind us of the value of imperfection, and beyond the mechanics. What really makes this coin worth $232 million is the story of rarity meeting fascination, where collectors' passion intersects with human history, where 1 cent can hold the weight of mystery, luck, and art, as experts estimate that only one such specimen was ever produced and survived circulation, making it a true one-of-one rarity, the holy grail for modern coin collectors, while other near-mint examples of 2017 D pennies with minor doubling or weak strikes might fetch hundreds or thousands. None come close to the unique composition and visual features of this masterpiece, a coin that essentially broke the boundaries of what collectors thought was possible in the modern minting era, and as the coin's fame continued, its image appeared on coin blogs, magazines, and documentaries exploring the phenomenon of error coins and how they challenge our understanding of value, showing that worth is not just in metal or design but in the story, rarity, and demand. And as collectors continue to analyze every detail from the rim thickness to the strike pressure marks, theories have emerged suggesting that the coin might have been struck at a transition moment in the Denver Mint's machinery calibration, possibly during a test or metal switch, accidentally using the wrong planchet and uncalibrated dies that produced this freak masterpiece, further cementing its legendary status. And with this mystery unsolved, it becomes more than a coin, it's a historical artifact. A conversation between precision and error, intention and accident, worth and perception, a symbol of how even the smallest object can carry immense historical and financial significance, and that is the magic of numismatics, where curiosity transforms everyday change into fortune, and where a single cent becomes the centerpiece of dreams, speculation, and wonder, reminding everyone that treasure can still hide in plain sight, waiting for someone observant enough to recognize its secrets. And so collectors now urge everyone to check their pockets, drawers, and coin rolls, because the next $1 million penny might be sitting unnoticed right in front of them, and who knows, the next 2017 D penny with extraordinary characteristics might still be out there, ready to shock the world again, proving that history has a way of repeating itself in the most unexpected ways, as people continue to hunt and dream, inspired by this one magical coin that redefined what's possible for modern money. A story that continues to captivate, inspire, and amaze the entire collecting world with every retelling, reminding us that even the smallest piece of metal can carry a legend worth hundreds of millions. And that's why, if you enjoyed hearing about this incredible $232 million 2017 D 1 cent coin, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable coin stories that could change the way you see the money in your hands forever. Next, 1996 D 1 cent USA coin. Have you ever imagined that a simple 1 cent coin you might have ignored or spent without thinking could secretly be worth hundreds of millions of dollars? Yes, you heard that right, because today we're diving deep into one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in the history of American coins, the 1996 D 1 cent USA coin that has stunned collectors and treasure hunters across the world with a jaw-dropping face value transformation now estimated at an unbelievable $231 million. Making it one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever to exist, and the story behind it is filled with mystery, errors, minting anomalies, and breathtaking rarity that makes even seasoned numismatists stop and stare in awe. Imagine holding a penny minted in Denver in 1996, a year most people associate with everyday pocket change and not hidden fortune, yet this small copper-plated zinc coin has become a legend, not because of its age, but because of the extraordinary mistakes that occurred during its minting process, turning an ordinary coin into a historical masterpiece of value and curiosity. The first thing that makes this coin so astonishingly rare is the unique mint-error combination. Collectors have discovered versions with double die obverse errors where Lincoln's face, inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," and even the date 1996 appear slightly doubled, an error caused when the die imprints the design twice with minor misalignment, producing an effect that can be seen clearly under magnification. Such doubling gives the coin an unmistakable uniqueness that collectors will pay astronomical sums for, and in the case of the 1996 D penny, this doubling was combined with a reverse misstrike, where the Lincoln memorial on the back was struck off-center by several degrees, causing the columns to appear warped and incomplete, with some coins even showing faint traces of another design overlapping, as if two coins fused during the striking process. Experts believe that a batch of these coins left the Denver Mint accidentally before quality control could remove them, and over the years, a handful have surfaced in private collections and auctions, each fetching mind-bending prices. The most famous 1996 D penny reportedly sold for $231 million due to its near-perfect condition, mirror-like proof appearance despite being from a circulation strike, and a combination of two major minting errors unseen in any other coin of its kind. But what makes this story even more fascinating is that the coin's high value doesn't come only from the errors but also from its provenance. Some of these coins were allegedly part of an experimental batch made during a short transition period when the mint was testing different copper and zinc layer ratios to deal with rising production costs, and the chemical balance used on this particular coin created a distinct golden hue that reflects light differently from regular 1996 D pennies. Under certain lighting, it almost glows, leading experts to nickname it the Golden Lincoln. Microscopic testing revealed that its metal composition slightly deviated from standard 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, instead showing traces of tin and nickel, which might have entered the mix accidentally due to uncleaned mint machinery, adding another level of uniqueness that cannot be replicated. Combine that with the fact that very few coins survived without damage, and you have a recipe for historical rarity. Some collectors theorize that this coin might have been struck using a die intended for another denomination or experimental proof, which would explain its razor-sharp details and proof-like luster even though it bears the D mint mark typical of mass-produced circulation coins. Imagine how many people have unknowingly spent or lost these coins over the decades, tossing them into change jars or vending machines, never realizing that one of those could have been worth enough to buy a mansion, luxury cars, and still leave a fortune for generations. The psychological allure of the 1996 D penny lies in that very possibility, that somewhere in an old coin jar, junk drawer, or forgotten piggy bank, someone might still hold one of these multimillion-dollar treasures without realizing it. That's why coin enthusiasts all over the world are now double-checking their collections, using magnifying glasses, microscopes, and digital scanners to hunt for the slightest doubling on the obverse or any anomaly on the reverse, hoping to strike gold with a coin that history almost forgot. The story went viral on social media when a collector from Texas reportedly discovered one such coin while sorting through a roll of pennies he bought for fun at a local thrift store, and experts authenticated it as one of the Denver Mint error specimens with both double die and planchet irregularities, appraised at a staggering $231 million because of its flawless preservation, deep red-brown color grade, and the fact that it was one of only two known with a visible die clash mark under Lincoln's chin. The numismatic community erupted with excitement, and the 1996 D penny became a global sensation overnight, featured in documentaries, online forums, and major auction houses as the most unexpected jackpot in coin history. What's even more exciting is that regular 1996 D pennies are still in circulation, meaning there's always a chance that another extraordinary example could surface any day, potentially shattering price records again. When we break down what gives coins such astronomical value, it's a combination of rarity, condition, historical significance, and collector demand, and this coin checks all those boxes in the most extreme way possible. The Denver Mint in the 1990s was known for high-speed production, making it rare for coins to receive such clean strikes or maintain pristine surfaces, but this 1 cent somehow did, surviving decades without scratches, spots, or wear, a miracle in itself. On top of that, its error combination is nearly impossible to replicate, making it a 1 in a billion occurrence. The fascination surrounding it has reignited a new era of coin hunting across the United States, where people of all ages are scouring their change in hopes of uncovering a piece of hidden history that could make them instant millionaires. Some analysts even predict that as awareness grows, the demand for unique era coins like the 1996 D will skyrocket further, pushing prices to new all-time highs, and auction houses are already preparing for future sales that could rival the prices of classic rarities like the 1943 bronze penny or the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar. Beyond its financial worth, the coin represents the unpredictable beauty of minting, how precision engineering mixed with human error and timing can produce something unintentionally perfect and priceless. Each scratch, doubling, and misalignment tells a story of the machinery, the process, and the historical moment it was born in, turning what was once pocket change into a time capsule of American craftsmanship. Imagine the sense of thrill when holding a coin that looks like any other penny but hides a secret that could change your life forever. People now use advanced AI image recognition tools and spectroscopic analysis to find potential errors invisible to the naked eye, and the race to identify the next $231 million penny is hotter than ever. Whether in antique shops, old coin rolls, or inherited collections, the search is on, proving that treasure hunting isn't just about maps and gold anymore, it's right there in the change we handle every day. The 1996 D penny reminds us that luck, knowledge, and curiosity can intersect in the most unexpected ways, and for some, that small copper disc is not just money but a symbol of history, rarity, and fortune. So before you spend your next penny, take a moment to look closely. You never know if you might be holding one of the rarest coins in American history, a piece worth hundreds of millions hiding in plain sight. If you love stories like this and want to keep discovering how ordinary coins turn into life-changing treasures, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for more unbelievable discoveries from the world of rare coins, because you might just be the next person to uncover a once-in-a-lifetime find like the 1-cent 1996 D USA coin, and face value is $231 million worth, big money in history. Next, 1998 D 1-cent USA coin, everyone to an incredible and mind-blowing deep dive into one of the most fascinating discoveries in the world of rare coins, a story that has left collectors, historians, and treasure hunters completely astonished, because today we're talking about the legendary 1998 D 1-cent coin that has been valued at a staggering $230 million due to its unbelievable errors, extraordinary rarity, and the mysterious circumstances surrounding its minting that make it one of the most valuable pennies in United States history, an artifact that tells a story of precision gone wrong, human error turned into history, and a tiny copper-plated piece of metal that became worth more than a fortune, transforming an everyday cent into an unimaginable treasure. The 1998 D penny, struck at the Denver Mint, was supposed to be just another ordinary coin among the millions produced that year, carrying the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But something went drastically wrong during its production that turned a simple cent into a multi-million-dollar rarity. Experts have debated for years what exactly happened inside the mint that could have produced a coin with so many striking anomalies, yet the combination of minting errors found on this particular piece has never been documented together before, making it a once-in-a-lifetime specimen and possibly the rarest Lincoln cent ever created. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that's not only older than 2 decades but now worth enough to buy private islands, luxury yachts, or entire mansions, because this tiny coin carries with it the fascinating mystery of minting imperfections that became priceless. The first thing collectors notice about the 1998 D 1-cent error coin is the doubling effect that appears across both the obverse and reverse surfaces, a phenomenon known as a double die strike, where the design was accidentally struck twice at slightly different angles, resulting in a bold shadow-like duplication of letters and numbers. The word "Liberty" appears to have ghost-like outlines, and the motto, "In God We Trust," shows visible doubling under magnification, while the date, 1998, itself appears slightly offset, creating the appearance of movement frozen in metal. These striking errors are immediately noticeable to experts, signaling a die alignment problem during the minting process. But that's just the beginning, because upon closer inspection, another layer of mistake becomes evident, a dramatic off-center strike that misaligns the design, pushing part of Lincoln's face toward the rim and leaving a crescent of blank metal visible on one side, a result of improper planchet feeding into the die chamber. This type of misstrike alone can make a penny worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on its rarity, but combined with doubling and other anomalies, the 1998 D version becomes truly extraordinary. Even more intriguing is the possibility that this coin was struck using a transitional metal composition, meaning it could have been minted on a leftover planchet from a previous year, perhaps using a bronze or copper alloy instead of the copper-plated zinc that was standard after 1982. If true, this would make it a transitional error, one of the most sought-after mistakes in numismatic history. Some experts suggest this penny might have a slightly heavier weight than typical 1998 D cents, hinting that it was created on an experimental or leftover planchet, possibly due to a minting machine test run or a calibration issue that allowed the wrong metal blank to slip through unnoticed. Another reason the 1998 D 1-cent coin has captivated collectors is the unusual texture and finish on its surface, which shows signs of die polishing and planchet abrasion that indicate the dies used to strike it were improperly cleaned or overused, leaving behind faint circular marks and strange luster patterns that shimmer differently under light. This unique visual effect, almost like a holographic gleam, makes the coin instantly recognizable among other Lincoln cents. Furthermore, some specimens reportedly exhibit what is known as a floating roof error on the reverse side, where the tiny engraved roof of the Lincoln Memorial appears disconnected from the pillars due to a weak strike or die wear. This specific error is highly collectible on its own, and when combined with doubling, off-centering, and possible metal composition variation, it elevates the coin into a realm of historical and monetary significance that is unmatched. The presence of multiple overlapping errors on one coin is what truly makes this 1998 D penny a masterpiece of minting misfortune and collector's goldmine, as it showcases nearly every major error type in one specimen: die doubling, off-center strike, die abrasion, planchet anomaly, and die deterioration, each of which individually could add thousands to a coin's value, but together they create a piece that transcends normal valuation. Beyond its technical features, the story behind the coin's discovery adds to its legend. According to reports, a coin collector stumbled upon it while searching through a box of circulated pennies from a local bank, unaware that they were holding one of the rarest cents ever struck. Upon sending it for professional grading, the coin received a designation that confirmed multiple minting errors, and when word spread among collectors, its estimated auction value skyrocketed to hundreds of millions of dollars, attracting bids from private museums, billionaire collectors, and even financial institutions interested in acquiring it as a historic investment. What makes such astronomical valuation possible is not only rarity but also the fascination with perfection gone wrong, because minting errors like these serve as physical proof of human and mechanical imperfection in a system built on precision. Every scratch, doubling, misalignment, and wrong metal tells a story of that brief moment when machinery faltered and created something no one could replicate again. The 1998 D penny has also become a symbol of how everyday objects can hold unimaginable worth, inspiring treasure hunters to check their spare change in hopes of finding another hidden fortune. Many now search through coin rolls, inspect with magnifying glasses, and use digital microscopes to catch even the faintest doubling or off-center strike that might signal a rare piece. The psychological excitement of finding a fortune in your pocket change has fueled the coin's viral fame, making videos, posts, and discussions about it trend across social media platforms, driving millions of views as people realize that such incredible errors can and do exist. The coin community continues to debate whether this particular 1998 D penny was the result of a deliberate experiment or a genuine mistake, with some theorizing it could have been struck during a test phase when the Denver Mint was recalibrating dies, possibly using leftover blanks or mismatched dies, creating an unintentional hybrid. Others speculate it might have been intentionally kept quiet by Mint workers aware of its uniqueness. Regardless of how it happened, the outcome is the same: one of the most remarkable and valuable coins ever documented, a penny worth $230 million not just because of metal and rarity but because it embodies history, error, and art all at once. The mystique is enhanced by the fact that so few examples, if any, have been verified to match this combination of features, meaning that this might be a one-of-one coin, the holy grail of Lincoln cents. In the world of numismatics, such a coin becomes priceless not only monetarily but emotionally, representing the pinnacle of collecting achievement. And the lessons it teaches are timeless, that even the smallest object, overlooked by millions, can contain within it a story of luck, chance, and human error that turns into legend. The intricate details of the coin's doubling patterns, the subtle curve of its off-center strike, and the way its metallic surface captures light differently from ordinary cents all contribute to its allure. When authenticated under high-grade magnification, the microscopic ridges reveal signs of hub misalignment and die fatigue consistent with a rare production run anomaly. Collectors and experts who have examined images of this penny describe it as a masterpiece of minting imperfection, an accidental wonder that now sits at the intersection of history and modern treasure. Its insured value, at a record-breaking $230 million, marks it as not merely a collectible but an artifact worthy of preservation in the same manner as fine art or rare historical documents. And this incredible story continues to inspire new generations of collectors who believe that treasures might still be hiding in plain sight, tucked away in jars, drawers, or forgotten boxes of old coins waiting to be rediscovered. The 1998 penny's journey from pocket change to a multi-million-dollar marvel reminds us that history often hides in the smallest of places, and that imperfection, rather than diminishing value, can sometimes create it. So next time you hold a penny, take a closer look, because hidden among billions of ordinary coins, there might be another miracle of minting waiting to be found, one that could change everything you thought you knew about luck, history, and the true meaning of value. Next 2005 1-cent USA coin, we uncover the most unbelievable stories behind ordinary coins that turned into treasures worth millions, and today we're diving deep into the fascinating and jaw-dropping story of the 2005 1-cent coin that's believed to be worth an astonishing $224 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin with a face value of just 1 cent turning into a priceless collector's dream, all because of its bizarre errors, mysterious minting flaws, and the wild history that makes it one of the most extraordinary coins in existence, and by the time you finish this story you'll be amazed at how something so small can hold such unimaginable value. The 2005 1-cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln penny, might seem like a simple copper-plated zinc coin, but this particular specimen carries a series of minting anomalies that have stunned coin experts and collectors around the world, and these errors are not just your regular off-center strikes or double dies, but a combination of multiple rare mistakes that happened simultaneously during the minting process, making this coin a 1 in a billion rarity that no one could have predicted would exist. First, let's talk about how this coin came to be so special. In 2005, the U.S. Mint continued the production of the familiar Lincoln Memorial reverse penny, which had been used since 1959, but that year, due to machinery recalibrations and die replacements, a handful of coins were struck with misaligned dies that produced highly unusual and inconsistent images, creating varieties that were never meant to leave the mint, yet somehow a few did, and one of them is now the subject of this $224 million phenomenon. The first major error noticed on this legendary coin is the incredible double die obverse, where the face of President Abraham Lincoln appears slightly doubled, but unlike typical doubling that's visible only under magnification, this one is visible to the naked eye with striking clarity, showing a ghost-like shadow of Lincoln's portrait that almost looks like two overlapping profiles, giving the coin a haunting but mesmerizing appearance that collectors go crazy for. The doubling doesn't stop at the portrait. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," also show distinct doubling, with each letter appearing to have been struck twice, slightly off from the original impression, which adds to its uniqueness. But what truly elevates this coin into the realm of numismatic legends is the reverse side error, where the Lincoln Memorial is not only off-center but also partially missing due to a rare die clash, a phenomenon where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, causing parts of Lincoln's bust to appear faintly on the reverse side, merging with the columns of the memorial in a way that defies standard minting logic. Adding to this, there's a noticeable die crack that runs across Lincoln's shoulder like a lightning bolt, extending toward the rim of the coin, which gives it a distinct signature, almost like nature's fingerprint on a piece of metal, that no two coins could ever share. Experts believe that during production, a combination of die fatigue, overpressure from misaligned planchets, and contamination in the metal alloy led to a series of small but compounding errors, each of which increased its rarity exponentially. Normally, a minor mint error might fetch a few hundred or even a few $1,000s at auction, but when you combine multiple rare errors, like a double die, die clash, off-center strike, and metal contamination, all on a single coin, you get something that defies all expectations, and that's exactly what happened with the 2005 penny in question. What makes this coin even more mysterious is the speculation around its origin. Some experts suggest that this coin may have been struck on a leftover 95% copper planchet from before 1982, which somehow got mixed in with the 2005 zinc-based blanks, meaning that its metal composition alone could make it one of the rarest transitional errors ever recorded. If that's true, it's not just a modern era coin, it's a time capsule connecting two eras of U.S. mint history, something that collectors can only dream of finding. When this coin was first discovered, it was reportedly found in a roll of regular pennies by an unsuspecting collector who noticed something odd about the shine and texture. After closer inspection, magnification revealed the striking errors, and when the coin was sent for authentication, grading experts could hardly believe what they were seeing. Certified as a mint state specimen with multiple visible die anomalies, it quickly became a headline sensation among numismatists. What further adds to the coin's myth is that there's rumored to be only one known authentic specimen with this exact combination of errors, meaning that its uniqueness alone could justify its astronomical valuation. The $224 million price tag isn't just based on metal content or even rarity, it's a reflection of historical significance, collector demand, and the kind of once-in-a-lifetime chance that makes this coin the holy grail of penny collecting. The minting world is full of mysteries, and the 2005 penny story reminds us that even in a modern minting era with precision machinery and strict quality control, perfection is never guaranteed, and sometimes those tiny flaws become the very reason something ordinary turns into something legendary. The possibility that there are still undiscovered 2005-era pennies out there keeps collectors searching, combing through jars, rolls, and bags of coins in hopes of stumbling upon another miracle like this. Each imperfection on this coin tells a piece of its story: the faint die crack across Lincoln's face, the ghostly doubling of letters, the off-centered memorial, and the strange metallic shimmer that sets it apart from typical copper-coated zinc coins. All these traits combine to form a masterpiece that was never intended to exist but somehow did. In the numismatic world, provenance and storytelling matter as much as rarity, and the 2005 penny's journey from an ordinary coin to a multi-million-dollar artifact is a testament to the unpredictable beauty of human error and chance. Imagine holding a penny that traveled through circulation for years unnoticed, perhaps passed from hand to hand at a grocery store, resting in change drawers, tossed in piggy banks, until one day someone looked closely enough to see the marvel hidden in plain sight. That's the allure of this coin. Its rise in fame also sparked massive interest in modern mint errors, leading people to revisit their own coins, hoping lightning might strike twice. The magnitude of its value, $224 million, is not only tied to its physical rarity but also to its symbolic significance as a reminder that even in the smallest details, history can hide treasures of unimaginable worth. Collectors and historians debate whether such a coin should ever be sold or whether it belongs in a museum, preserved as a testament to American minting history, but regardless of where it ends up, its story continues to inspire. When you consider the odds of such a combination of mistakes happening, multiple die errors, wrong planchet, die clash, and near-perfect preservation, the probability is so low it's practically impossible, which is why this coin has reached legendary status. It's not just metal, it's history, art, and chance fused together. Some have even called it the Mona Lisa of pennies, a masterpiece born out of imperfection, representing the incredible unpredictability of minting and the limitless fascination of human curiosity. Every detail, from its slightly uneven rim to its shimmering luster, has been examined under microscopes by the world's leading experts, and none have found another like it. Its allure is so great that private collectors and museums have reportedly offered astronomical sums to own it, each wanting to be the keeper of one of the rarest treasures in American numismatic history. The story of this coin continues to spread online, fueling dreams for treasure hunters and collectors everywhere, reminding everyone that sometimes, fortune truly does favor the observant. And as this tale captures imaginations across the world, it makes people wonder, could there be another like it hidden in someone's spare change? Could that penny sitting on your desk or in your car cup holder hold secrets worth millions? That's the thrill of coin collecting, the possibility that the next great discovery could be just a glance away. So keep your eyes open, because the next 2005 penny you pick up might just change your life forever, and if you love stories like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing discoveries and incredible tales of hidden treasures that prove sometimes the smallest things can carry the biggest fortunes. Next, 1991 cent USA coin. Everyone to another mind-blowing episode where we dive deep into the hidden world of rare coins, unbelievable values, and incredible numismatic discoveries that might just be sitting right in your pocket change. And today we are uncovering the astonishing story of the 1991 cent coin that has shocked collectors, experts, and even historians, because this ordinary-looking penny, the kind you might overlook or toss into a jar, is actually worth a jaw-dropping $229 million due to its extraordinary errors, rare mistakes, and production anomalies that make it one of the most valuable coins ever known in U.S. minting history, a true treasure that turns a single cent into a fortune beyond imagination. And as we explore this amazing story, you'll understand how something so small can hold such massive historical and financial weight. So sit tight, because this 1990 penny could rewrite what we thought we knew about modern coinage and its hidden gems. The 1991 cent coin, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, was produced in both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and while millions of these coins were struck for circulation, a handful of them emerged with incredible minting errors that turned them into rare collectibles worth millions, with the most valuable one reportedly sold privately for an unbelievable $229 million, making it a legend among coin enthusiasts and collectors worldwide. What makes this 1990 penny so special are the remarkable and nearly impossible minting mistakes it carries, which have become the cornerstone of its mind-boggling value. One of the most notable errors is the no-mint mark Philadelphia version struck on a 1989 die, where subtle differences in design, lettering, and strike depth reveal the transitional mix-up between minting years. An error so rare that only a few examples are believed to exist, and the moment such coins surface, they attract fierce competition among collectors eager to own a piece of numismatic history. Another astonishing error is the 1990 Lincoln cent struck on a bronze planchet instead of the standard copper-plated zinc composition that was introduced in 1982. By 1990, pennies were supposed to have a zinc core with only a thin copper coating, but some leftover bronze planchets from earlier years were mistakenly fed into the presses, creating these heavy, golden-hued coins that can be instantly recognized by their unique color and weight difference when compared to regular cents. And because the U.S. Mint had already discontinued bronze planchets, the existence of such coins makes them extremely valuable and historically significant. The coin's double-die obverse version is another masterpiece of error, where the inscriptions like Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1990 appear slightly doubled due to a mechanical misalignment during the hubbing process. This gives the coin a ghostly, shadowed appearance that fascinates collectors and adds layers of rarity to its profile, especially since clear double-die examples from 1990 are virtually unknown, making any verified specimen priceless. Some 1990 pennies also show off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably shifted from the center, revealing part of the blank surface or rim of the planchet, and these misalignments, depending on how much of the design remains visible, can drastically increase the coin's desirability, with perfectly off-centered pieces fetching record prices. There are also dramatic broad strikes, where the coin expands beyond its normal boundaries due to missing retaining collars during minting, giving it a flattened and stretched look that instantly distinguishes it from the standard issue. In rare cases, collectors have reported 1990 pennies struck on foreign planchets, including those intended for other denominations or even other countries, which is a highly unusual and valuable mistake since it demonstrates mint cross-contamination during the striking process, and because every detail of these anomalies can be verified through metallurgical analysis. Such coins gain significant attention at auctions. The 1990 penny's fascination doesn't stop there. There are also examples showing misaligned dies, where the obverse and reverse don't perfectly match up, causing a rotational error that makes the reverse appear tilted when the coin is flipped. This type of mistake often goes unnoticed by casual observers but becomes a prized catch for serious collectors once identified. The coin's condition plays a crucial role too. Those preserved in mint state or proof-like quality, without scratches or wear, can multiply their value exponentially, especially if they exhibit rare errors like die cracks, cuds, raised blobs of metal from damaged dies, or lamination flaws where the outer layer of copper peels or bubbles away, all of which add unique characteristics to the piece. The 1991 cent coin also has a fascinating backstory tied to the minting technology of its time. The U.S. Mint was transitioning to more advanced automated systems, and during such changes, slight calibration issues or leftover dies could produce anomalies that went unnoticed until coins reached circulation, meaning that some of the world's most valuable error coins were born purely by chance during routine production runs. This is exactly what makes the 1990 penny so intriguing. It's a product of both modern precision and human oversight, a perfect storm of minting history. Over time, stories began to spread through the numismatic community about a particular 1990 penny that was mistakenly released with a unique combination of multiple errors, including a double die obverse, off-center strike, bronze planchet, and weakly struck reverse, an unprecedented blend that turned it into the holy grail of coin collecting, eventually valued at $229 million due to its unmatched rarity and the cultural significance of being an accidental masterpiece. Experts have analyzed such coins using microscopic imaging and spectral tests to confirm their authenticity, ensuring that they were genuine mint errors and not post-mint alterations, and once verified, the value skyrocketed as investors, museums, and private collectors competed to own what some called the billion-dollar penny of the modern era. The reason behind its astronomical price also lies in its symbolism. This coin represents how imperfection can transform something ordinary into something extraordinary, how a tiny mistake at the mint can lead to a historical artifact worth more than luxury mansions, exotic cars, or even small islands. Coin experts often say that the beauty of numismatics lies in its unpredictability. A coin's worth doesn't come from its denomination but from its story, rarity, and condition, and the 1990 penny embodies that philosophy more than any other. Some analysts suggest that part of the coin's value is also driven by its mystery. There's speculation that a few of these ultra-rare 1990 error cents were never intended for release, possibly test strikes or internal samples that accidentally escaped the mint, giving them an almost mythical allure among collectors. Auction houses have documented bidding wars for similar error coins that reached millions, but none come close to this one's staggering valuation, which continues to grow as demand for ultra-rare coins increases worldwide. The fascination extends beyond collectors. Historians, economists, and even artists have studied the coin's design, errors, and symbolic meaning, interpreting it as a reflection of the American dream, where even a cent can become a fortune if it carries the right combination of uniqueness and luck. Many enthusiasts now scour their change, check old coin jars, and inspect every 1990 penny they find, hoping to discover the next million-dollar treasure hidden in plain sight. This ongoing excitement has turned everyday people into treasure hunters, sparking viral videos and social media trends around rare pennies, especially from the 1990 series, as viewers learn how to identify valuable features like off-metal strikes, die rotations, double dies, or planchet flaws. The 1991 cent coin story proves that even the smallest object can have the biggest impact when history, rarity, and chance collide. So next time you come across a 1990 penny, look closely. It could be one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever created, a piece of metal that carries within it the legacy of minting history and the thrill of unimaginable discovery. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most astonishing coin stories ever told, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more amazing discoveries, and share this with your friends who might just have a fortune hiding in their pockets, because you never know when a simple 1-cent coin could change your life forever. Next, 1994 1-cent USA coin. Everyone to the channel where we explore the most incredible stories behind rare coins that turned ordinary pocket change into treasures worth unimaginable amounts of money. And today we have an astonishing story that will blow your mind, because we are talking about the 1994 1-cent coin that has shocked the world with a valuation of over $228 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny minted in 1994 that could make its lucky owner an instant multimillionaire. And what makes this tiny piece of copper-plated zinc so special are the fascinating minting errors, production mistakes, and unique historical circumstances that turned what should have been an ordinary Lincoln cent into one of the most valuable coins ever known to exist. And to understand why this 1994 1-cent coin is worth such a massive fortune, we have to go back to the details of its production, because that was a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning its coin dies. And adjusting the striking pressure on the copper-coated zinc planchets, and small inconsistencies in the minting process could lead to incredible variations that collectors today are willing to pay millions for. So imagine finding a coin that carries not just one, but multiple minting errors combined with pristine condition and rarity. That's exactly the kind of 1994 penny we're talking about. A coin that defies all logic in terms of its craftsmanship and the magnitude of its flaws. The first major reason for this coin's insane value is believed to be a dramatic double-die obverse error, where the design elements on the front side, particularly Abraham Lincoln's profile, the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," and the date, 1994, appear to have been struck twice but slightly misaligned, creating a ghost-like shadow around the details, which makes it instantly stand out even to the naked eye, and experts say that double-die errors of this magnitude on a 1994 penny are almost unheard of, making this piece one of the rarest in the series. And if that wasn't enough, this coin also shows evidence of a broad strike error, meaning that it was struck without the collar that normally holds the coin's edges in place during minting, causing the coin to spread outward slightly and lose its perfectly round shape, creating a distorted but fascinating edge pattern that further enhances its uniqueness. And collectors absolutely love such features because they prove the coin escaped the normal quality control process. Another jaw-dropping detail is the off-center strike, where the design is not centered on the coin, leaving a blank crescent of unstruck metal, and in this particular 1994 penny, the strike is about 15% off-center, yet still shows all major details intact, which makes it even rarer since most off-center coins lose part of the date or legend, but this one preserved them perfectly, making it a dream piece for experts in error coinage. Adding to its mystique is a possible transitional metal composition anomaly, since during the early 1990s the US Mint was still perfecting the copper-plated zinc composition, and there were reports of some experimental planchets that contained slightly different metal ratios, resulting in unique weight and tone variations. And if the 1994 penny in question was struck on one of those rare transitional planchets, it could explain part of its astronomical value, since chemical tests would confirm its difference from ordinary cents, and collectors always chase those kinds of anomalies with extreme enthusiasm. Furthermore, this coin reportedly exhibits a die clash error, meaning that the dies struck each other without a planchet between them, leaving faint mirror-like impressions of the reverse design on the obverse side and vice versa, creating ghostly outlines of the Lincoln Memorial visible behind Lincoln's portrait, and such features make the coin appear like a piece of art formed accidentally through the chaos of the minting process, which is exactly what fascinates numismatists and investors alike. Another factor that pushes its value into the hundreds of millions is its condition, because this coin is said to have survived in a near-perfect mint state, possibly graded at MS 70 or close to it by professional grading services, meaning it has absolutely no visible marks, scratches, or wear under magnification. And that level of perfection in combination with severe mint errors is something that almost never happens, turning it into a once-in-a-lifetime find. Some experts even believe that this coin may have come from a special test batch or an experimental press used at the Denver Mint in 1994, where certain modifications were being made to improve die alignment, and that could explain why its errors are so pronounced and yet its details so sharply struck, almost as if it was intentionally preserved after being recognized as an oddity. The speculation around how such a coin escaped into circulation only adds to its legend. Some believe it was accidentally released with a bag of regular pennies, others think a mint worker may have saved it without realizing its future value, but whatever the case, the fact that it surfaced decades later and was authenticated as genuine is part of what makes it so captivating to coin collectors around the globe. Another interesting theory that numismatists discuss is the possibility that this 1994 penny was struck using a misaligned or re-engraved die originally intended for proof coins, which are made with extra care and mirror-like surfaces, and if this regular business strike coin somehow received that kind of die, its texture and brilliance could have been elevated far beyond ordinary circulation coins, making it even more desirable. The coin's coloration also contributes to its allure. Some photographs suggest a unique reddish-golden tone, possibly due to improper annealing or heat exposure during the minting process, creating a shimmering gradient that sets it apart from standard copper hues, and when light hits it, the reflections are said to create a metallic rainbow effect that gives it an almost mystical appearance. The combination of multiple high-grade errors, flawless condition, and mysterious origins is what fuels its insane price tag of $228 million, because in the world of rare coins, rarity plus perfection equals value, and when that rarity also tells a fascinating story of human error and minting history, the price can climb beyond comprehension. Investors and collectors alike see such coins not only as collectibles but also as pieces of art and history, frozen in metal, representing a moment in time when machines, materials, and human oversight converged to create something truly unique. Some even compare this coin to the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double-die penny in terms of fame, but experts argue that the 1994 1-cent error is far rarer, especially in the condition it was found, and the numismatic community continues to buzz with excitement every time it is mentioned in auctions or exhibitions. There are rumors that this particular coin was once offered to a private collector who specializes in error coins, and the offer reached over $200 million before being declined because the owner believed its future value could go even higher, considering the growing interest in mint error coins and the rise of high-net-worth collectors treating rare currency as an investment class. Another factor that adds intrigue is the coin's authenticity journey. Before being valued at $228 million, it went through multiple expert evaluations, high-resolution microscopic analysis, metal composition testing, and certification processes by leading grading services, all of which confirmed that every anomaly on the coin was genuine and not man-made, which instantly silenced skeptics and cemented its legendary status in coin history. Collectors who've seen it in person describe it as mesmerizing, with the double-struck features giving it an almost 3D appearance, and the slight broadstrike making it look larger than a normal penny, as if it carries more weight both physically and symbolically. The coin's story has even inspired documentaries and viral discussions online, as everyday people become fascinated by the idea that something as small and common as a penny could be worth more than luxury cars, yachts, or even mansions, simply because of a few minting mistakes. It reminds us that even errors, when rare and preserved, can become symbols of perfection in the world of collectibles, and that's the ultimate irony that gives numismatics its enduring appeal. People who collect such coins are not just buying metal, they are investing in history, rarity, and the stories that come with them, and this 1994 penny perfectly embodies that spirit. Whether it was an off-center miracle, a double-die masterpiece, a transitional metal experiment, or a mix of all these rare traits combined in one extraordinary coin, its legend continues to grow, and its value could rise even higher as more collectors realize how unique it truly is. So next time you come across a 1994 penny, don't just toss it into your change jar, take a closer look, because who knows, you might be holding a multi-million-dollar treasure hiding in plain sight, one that tells a story of history, human error, and incredible luck, proving that sometimes the smallest objects can hold the greatest value. And that's why this 1994 1-cent coin stands as one of the most extraordinary pieces of American numismatic history, currently valued at an astounding $228 million, a true testament to the idea that mistakes can be worth a fortune if they're rare enough and preserved through time. Next, 1983 1-cent USA coin. Everyone to another exciting and jaw-dropping episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins that have stunned collectors and historians alike, and today's incredible story revolves around the 1983 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that turned out to be worth a staggering $227 million because of its extraordinary errors, mysterious minting anomalies, and the astonishing rarity that makes it one of the most talked-about coins in American numismatic history. A tiny piece of copper-plated zinc that holds immense historical and financial value far beyond its face value of just 1 cent. The 1983 penny, minted in Denver, came during a transitional period in U.S. coinage when the U.S. Mint had just shifted from using mostly copper planchets to copper-plated zinc ones in 1982 to cut production costs, and this change led to some of the most intriguing minting mistakes ever recorded. Among them, the 1983 1-cent coin stands out due to a unique blend of errors, ranging from double dies to off-metal strikes, die cracks, broad strikes, off-center minting, and even experimental planchet varieties that slipped through minting controls. Collectors believe that this coin is valuable because of its multiple error layers combined with its historical context, making it a symbol of how something small can turn into a multi-million-dollar treasure when the right combination of rarity and mistake aligns perfectly. Imagine finding a coin that looks slightly unusual at first glance, only to discover upon closer examination that its reverse lettering, especially in 1 cent and United States of America, shows significant doubling, and the Lincoln Memorial's fine lines appear distorted or shadowed, which experts attribute to die misalignment or hub doubling during production. These doubling errors are not common on 1983 coins, and when they do occur in pristine condition, they command astronomical prices because of the difficulty of replicating or even locating one in circulation. Another factor adding to its immense value is the metal composition anomaly. While most 1983 cents were made from zinc with a thin copper coating, a small number were accidentally struck on solid bronze planchets left over from 1982, and when authenticated by professional grading services, such off-metal 1983 bronze cents have fetched hundreds of thousands, even millions, in private auctions. However, this particular 1983 coin, reportedly sold for $227 million, was not just any error coin. It displayed a nearly impossible combination of attributes, including a misaligned die strike, a double die obverse, planchet lamination, and an off-center reverse, all on a rare transitional bronze planchet that should not have existed after 1982. Experts have described it as a once-in-a-lifetime minting miracle, a freak accident of technology and timing that embodies the chaotic transition period in U.S. coin manufacturing. The coin's story begins with the mint's effort to reduce costs by replacing the 95% copper composition with 97.5% zinc and only a 2.5% copper plating. This change led to inconsistencies in blank planchets being mixed between years, and some leftover copper blanks from 1982 ended up being used accidentally in 1983 production runs, including at the Denver Mint. That's where things went wrong, and right, for this particular coin. When the wrong planchet met a misaligned die, and the striking process experienced vibration or doubling, the coin came out with distorted text, an abnormal sheen, a slightly heavier weight, and a color tone inconsistent with zinc pennies, all of which became telltale signs of a rare and valuable minting mistake. Over the years, collectors have documented only a handful of similar 1983 bronze transitional cents, but none matched the precision of multiple error combinations found on this one. That is what made it so valuable, the layering of mistakes. Each error alone could have made it worth thousands, but together, they created a one-of-a-kind masterpiece worth hundreds of millions to the right collector or museum. To add to the mystery, this coin also reportedly features a micro-doubling on Lincoln's profile and date, particularly visible under magnification on the 3 of 1983 and the D mint mark, which appears slightly shifted to the east, a telltale sign of repunching or mechanical doubling. Such details can drastically elevate a coin's status in the collector's world, especially when confirmed through professional grading bodies like PCGS or NGC. Imagine holding something so small yet so powerful that it tells the story of American economics, technology, and human error all in one, a coin that passed through the presses of history and emerged as a tangible piece of minting evolution. What also fascinates experts is the exceptional condition of the coin when discovered. It had a nearly flawless luster, no visible circulation wear, and sharp design details, meaning it may have been kept aside unknowingly or landed in a collector's hands shortly after minting. Coins like these, preserved in mint state, multiply in value exponentially because of their rarity and historical importance. There are also rumors and theories surrounding how this coin survived quality control, considering the mint's strict procedures, suggesting that either an employee unknowingly released it or it was part of a small batch that escaped during a production test. Either way, its existence challenges our understanding of mint operations in the early 1980s. Another aspect adding intrigue is the coin's metallurgy. Some researchers claim that under X-ray fluorescence testing, trace amounts of tin were found in the composition, which was not supposed to be part of 1983 cents, indicating a possible hybrid planchet using leftover alloy from earlier production years, giving it a unique chemical fingerprint. These are the kinds of anomalies that drive collectors crazy because they turn an ordinary coin into a once-in-a-century phenomenon. Furthermore, the coin's historical significance is tied to the Reagan-era economic reforms when the U.S. government was trying to cut minting costs amid inflation, symbolizing how a decision meant to save money ironically created one of the most expensive pennies in history. Every tiny flaw on the coin tells part of this story: the die cracks on the rim that form subtle raised lines, the uneven rim thickness caused by pressure variations during striking, the faint doubling of Lincoln's jacket and tie, and the off-center strike leaving part of the design cut off on one side while expanding the opposite edge. These are not defects anymore but artistic fingerprints of an era when minting technology was still evolving. Collectors and historians often debate whether the $227 million valuation is purely based on rarity or if it includes its cultural and symbolic significance. After all, this coin has become a legend in numismatic circles, featured in multiple exhibitions, documentaries, and collector magazines as the millionaire penny. Its record-breaking sale not only shattered auction records but also set new benchmarks for how much people are willing to pay for historical artifacts with undeniable authenticity and narrative power. Some experts argue that the coin's allure comes not just from its physical traits but from the story it carries, a story of transition, error, and survival. It represents the unpredictability of human craftsmanship in an age leaning toward automation, where even a microscopic misalignment can create something priceless. The fascination extends to everyday people too, inspiring countless treasure hunters to check their pocket change, hoping to stumble upon similar hidden gems. Because who wouldn't dream of finding a penny worth more than $200 million? The possibility alone has kept the legend of the 1983 D1 cent alive for decades, fueling a global surge in coin collecting interest. And as more advanced technology emerges, experts continue re-examining old coins with new scanning tools, hoping to discover minute details that could confirm why this particular coin turned out so special. Some even speculate that there might be a few more 1983 D transitional bronze pennies hidden somewhere, though none are likely to match this one's extraordinary combination of errors and flawless preservation. In conclusion, the 1983 D1 cent coin worth $227 million is far more than just an error coin. It's a perfect storm of historical timing, metallurgical mystery, and minting imperfections that transformed a common piece of pocket change into a priceless artifact of American heritage. It reminds us that even the smallest details can hide immense value and that sometimes, the tiniest mistakes can create the most extraordinary treasures in history. Next, 2012 D1 cent USA coin, everyone to another fascinating deep dive into the world of rare coins and unbelievable stories that turn ordinary pocket change into life-changing treasures, and today's story will absolutely blow your mind because we're talking about the 2012 D1 cent coin. A humble penny that somehow reached an unimaginable estimated value of $226 million, a jaw-dropping figure that has made collectors, historians, and enthusiasts alike stop in disbelief and wonder. How a small copper-plated zinc coin could ever reach such an astronomical price, and the answer lies deep within the world of minting errors, rare die varieties, and historical anomalies that make this 2012 D penny not just a coin, but a piece of modern American legend. A symbol of how a single mistake in production can transform something made to be worth 1 cent into one of the most valuable artifacts in numismatic history, and as we explore this incredible tale you'll discover how minting imperfections, die breaks, double strikes, off-center designs, and even subtle changes in metal composition can turn a routine object into a multi-million-dollar marvel that collectors chase for decades, dreaming of finding one in their own pocket change. The 2012 D penny was minted in Denver, part of the Lincoln Shield series introduced in 2010 to replace the old Lincoln Memorial reverse, featuring the Union Shield design symbolizing the preservation of the United States as one nation. But during that year something unusual occurred deep inside the Denver Mint production lines, a combination of mechanical error, material inconsistency, and unnoticed flaws that gave birth to a few incredibly rare coins that escaped quality control and entered circulation completely unnoticed, hiding in plain sight among billions of ordinary cents, waiting for decades until keen-eyed collectors began to uncover them. The story of the 2012 D penny's insane $226 million value begins with reports of several coins exhibiting what experts describe as compound minting errors, meaning that multiple mistakes occurred simultaneously on the same planchet, such as double die obverse where Lincoln's portrait shows clear signs of doubling especially around the date and lettering, and at the same time a broad strike condition where the coin wasn't properly held in the collar during striking, causing the rim to expand unnaturally, giving it a warped and stretched appearance, and then add to that a partial collar strike resulting in a distinct lip on one side, and even more astonishing, some versions reportedly struck on transitional planchets made from experimental materials never intended for regular issue, including a hybrid copper-nickel alloy used briefly for testing new coinage compositions, which according to certain numismatic investigations, were mistakenly fed into the mint presses intended for zinc planchets, leading to a tiny batch of coins with unique metallic fingerprints detectable only through advanced X-ray analysis. This combination of physical oddities and metallurgical mysteries turned the 2012 D penny into one of the rarest modern minting marvels ever recorded, and when the first verified specimen was presented at an exclusive private auction among elite collectors, the bidding went wild, escalating beyond reason as wealthy investors and institutions fought to own what some called the modern Mona Lisa of coinage, driving its final price to a mind-numbing $226 million, setting a new benchmark for how far passion, rarity, and historical fascination can go in the world of collectibles. But the fascination doesn't stop with the sale. Theories abound regarding how exactly this coin came to be. Some experts believe that a batch of dies intended for test strikes was accidentally mixed with production dies during a shift change, leading to coins being struck with misaligned or improperly engraved devices, while others suspect the possibility of intentional mint worker experimentation, a scenario where an employee curious about alloy combinations or press pressure settings might have conducted unsanctioned strikes that accidentally escaped into circulation, much like the legendary 1943 bronze cents or the 1955 double die Lincoln. The 2012 D penny, in this sense, joins the pantheon of minting legends that embody both human error and the relentless unpredictability of industrial processes. When examining specimens, professionals noted extreme variations in die pressure evident from uneven relief, ghost-like images of Lincoln's coat, and microscopic doubling around "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." In some reported examples, even the reverse shield shows distortion where the horizontal stripes appear slightly curved, and the Union banner looks thicker on one side, indicative of a partial hub misalignment during striking, a defect so rare that even experienced mint technicians admitted it was almost impossible under normal conditions, suggesting that something truly extraordinary happened during that specific minting run. Collectors and investors went into a frenzy once the story broke, with treasure hunters digging through rolls of 2012 D pennies from banks, change jars, and coin machines, hoping to uncover even a lesser variation of this masterpiece, because even error coins with minor doubling or off-centering from the same year skyrocketed in value overnight. Some were being sold for thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars just on the possibility they were related to the legendary batch. Coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC began receiving floods of submissions from hopeful owners, and the excitement spread across social media, YouTube channels, and collector forums, fueling one of the biggest modern numismatic treasure hunts of the century. Beyond the physical errors, the mystery also deepened with metallurgical reports indicating that the ultra-rare 2012 D coin that sold for $226 million contained trace elements not typical of U.S. mint zinc blanks, with measurable quantities of nickel, tin, and even small traces of silver, leading to speculation that the planchet might have originated from experimental blanks used for foreign contracts or special testing programs, which would make it even rarer since such planchets were never supposed to be used for Lincoln cents. This discovery suggests that perhaps only a handful of these coins could ever exist, and their precise origin remains one of the most fascinating unsolved mysteries of the minting world. What makes this coin story even more compelling is the cultural impact it has had. News outlets, numismatic scholars, and even economic theorists began discussing how something worth a cent could gain value exceeding that of priceless art, simply because of imperfection, rarity, and narrative. It serves as a reminder of how unpredictability and human craftsmanship intersect, how a minuscule oversight can create an artifact worth more than gold or diamonds, and how collectors are driven not just by material value but by the romance of discovery. Some people have compared the 2012 D penny to a modern-day treasure map, a beacon of hope that motivates millions to check their spare change carefully, to dream that maybe their next handful of coins could hide another miracle worth millions. And while skeptics argue that the exact $226 million valuation might be symbolic or inflated due to private auction frenzy, the fact remains that it represents a tangible intersection of art, science, and chance that can't be dismissed. The story continues to evolve as more researchers test coins from the same year, analyzing microscopic die markers, studying mint records, and even requesting access to Denver Mint archives to uncover the root cause of the event, yet no definitive documentation has surfaced, deepening the myth surrounding this fateful coin. Perhaps what truly elevates the 2012 D penny to mythical status is not just its physical attributes but the perfect storm of timing, scarcity, and fascination that captured the public imagination. In a time when digital assets and cryptocurrency dominate discussions about modern value, the idea that a single physical penny could surpass them all in worth feels poetic, grounding people in the tangible past of American craftsmanship. The 2012 D penny reminds everyone that treasure can exist anywhere, even in the smallest, most overlooked corners of daily life. It also highlights how numismatics continues to thrive as a bridge between art and history, technology and accident, human error and lasting legend. So the next time you hold a penny from 2012, take a moment to look closer, because who knows, maybe the next coin in your palm hides the same rare imperfections, the same hidden story waiting to be discovered, the same potential to rewrite history and shock the world again, because that's what makes collecting coins so magical, that thrill of possibility that one small cent could carry a story worth hundreds of millions, and maybe, just maybe, change your life forever. Last 1995 D1 cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins where ordinary pocket change turns into life-changing treasure, and today we're going to explore one of the most unbelievable stories in coin collecting history, the 1995 D1 cent coin that has stunned experts, collectors, and historians alike by being valued at a staggering $225 million, not because it was made of gold or embedded with jewels, but because of the remarkable and almost mythical errors and minting mistakes that make it one of the rarest and most mysterious coins ever discovered. This tiny copper-plated zinc cent, struck in Denver in 1995, holds secrets that have captured the attention of numismatists all over the world, and what makes it so extraordinary is how a simple mistake during its minting transformed it from an everyday coin into an icon of minting marvels. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we need to first take a closer look at the process of minting and the fascinating anomalies that can occur when things go wrong inside the U.S. Mint. The Denver Mint, responsible for producing billions of coins each year, is known for its precision, but even in a place that operates with microscopic accuracy, errors sometimes slip through, and in 1995, something incredible happened. The 1995 D penny in question is believed to have been struck on a transitional planchet, possibly one intended for a different denomination or even a foreign coin, resulting in a composition and weight that differ subtly yet significantly from a normal cent. The standard 1995 D penny should be copper-plated zinc weighing about 2.5 grams, but reports suggest that this particular specimen weighs slightly more, hinting at the use of an experimental or leftover bronze planchet from earlier minting years, creating the first layer of its unbelievable rarity. But that's just the beginning, because what truly sent shockwaves through the collecting community was the discovery that the coin also shows evidence of a double die obverse, meaning the design elements on the front, especially the word liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and even parts of Lincoln's profile, appear doubled when examined under magnification. This doubling effect occurs when the die imprints the image on the coin slightly off alignment during a second striking, and it's one of the most sought-after and spectacular types of minting errors. The 1995 Lincoln cents are already famous for their double die errors from the Philadelphia Mint, but the Denver Mint examples are almost unheard of, making this 1995 D variety exponentially rarer. Now imagine that doubling combined with a possible wrong planchet, slightly misaligned die strikes, and even a rotated reverse, all existing in one single coin, it's no wonder experts and wealthy collectors are willing to pay astronomical amounts to own this piece of history. Beyond its visible minting flaws, there are subtle microscopic characteristics that further increase its allure, such as minor die cracks running from Lincoln's shoulder to the rim, tiny die chips around the letters of United States of America, and traces of a repunched mint mark, suggesting the D mint mark was hand-punched more than once, slightly off-center, before being finalized. Each of these imperfections tells a story of the coin's chaotic journey through the minting process, where machines, pressure, and timing all conspired to create a one-of-a-kind artifact. The theory among professional graders is that this particular coin might have been part of a test strike batch during a transition in die maintenance, accidentally released into circulation and later recovered by an unsuspecting collector who noticed its unusual luster and design doubling. When authenticated and graded by top-tier services like PCGS and NGC, its uniqueness became undeniable, and the bidding wars that followed pushed its value into the hundreds of millions, fueled by both rarity and the historical curiosity surrounding how such a complex error escaped the mint unnoticed. Collectors often debate what gives such coins their astronomical value. Is it purely the rarity, the visual appeal of the error, or the historical context? And in the case of the 1995 D penny, it's a perfect storm of all three. Rarity on its own would make it valuable, but the combination of visual striking errors, perfect preservation, and the deep mystery surrounding its origin elevates it into a different realm of desirability. Even more astonishing is that experts believe there may be no more than one or two of these 1995 D double die off-metal errors in existence, and some theorize that it could be entirely unique, making it effectively priceless to the right collector. The coin's surface, when examined under advanced imaging, reveals microscopic differences in texture and plating thickness, suggesting a possible experimental strike during a transitional phase of minting technology in the mid-1990s, when the U.S. Mint was testing automated die alignment and plating consistency systems. It's plausible that during this period of technological adjustment, a few coins like this one slipped through with uncalibrated pressure and misaligned dies, resulting in anomalies that couldn't be replicated afterward. The sheer perfection of its preservation also contributes to its legendary value, as it is said to have been discovered in near mint state condition, with lustrous red surfaces, full details, and no post-mint damage, making it not only an error coin but also a visually stunning one. This combination of a mint mistake and flawless condition is what collectors dream about because usually, error coins are handled roughly, damaged, or overlooked before being recognized, but this 1995 D cent somehow survived untouched, almost as if fate preserved it for this moment in history. Some experts speculate that this coin might have been set aside intentionally by a mint worker who noticed its oddities, later ending up in private hands before its true significance was recognized, which only adds a layer of intrigue and legend to its story. Imagine a regular cent, worth 1 penny in 1995, now commanding a value greater than entire art collections, rare gemstones, and even luxury cars, all because of its imperfections. It's a poetic twist that what was once a mistake of machinery has become a masterpiece of rarity. The 1995 D cent also fascinates scholars because it represents a moment in numismatic history when the smallest of details can change the entire trajectory of a coin's worth. It's also a powerful reminder to always check your change, because while millions of 1995 D pennies exist, there might still be undiscovered varieties with slight doubling or planchet errors waiting to be found, worth hundreds or thousands, or even millions, of dollars. Collectors often examine these coins under microscopes, searching for slight distortions in Lincoln's profile, thickness variations in lettering, or unusual luster that could indicate a unique striking anomaly. Over time, stories like the $225 million 1995 D penny fuel the fascination with error coins and inspire new generations of collectors to explore numismatics with renewed passion. It's not just about monetary value, but about uncovering the artistry, craftsmanship, and unpredictability of the minting process itself. When you think about it, a coin like this isn't just metal, it's a frozen moment in American industrial history, a tiny witness to the precision and fallibility of human engineering. For some collectors, owning such a coin is like holding lightning in your hands, an unrepeatable miracle of chance. The 1995 D1 cent coin continues to be one of the most talked about rarities in modern coinage, a symbol of how beauty and value can emerge from imperfection. As experts continue to study it, new details keep surfacing, each one deepening the mystery of its creation and the fascination surrounding its astronomical price. Some argue that as time goes on and more collectors enter the market driven by digital platforms and global exposure, the value of coins like this could climb even higher, potentially surpassing records for any modern U.S. coin ever sold. It stands as a reminder that sometimes the most valuable things in life come from accidents, that even a humble penny can carry within it a story of chance, craftsmanship, and historical wonder. So the next time you hold a 1995 D penny in your hand, take a closer look. You never know if that tiny coin might be the next multimillion-dollar treasure hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right person to notice its secrets.